Here we go, ready for some cowboy music? Come on and throw away your troubles, fasten to the moon, and sell all your worries for free. Cause there's a great day coming, can't you hear them all hum? Well, it's a cowboy jubilee. If you've got lots of leisure time and nothing else to do, and wanna be happy as we, just grab your hat, get your boots on, pretty soon you'll belong to the Cowboy Jubilee. Just hear the cowboy band a-playing. You know your boots will be the thing when you get in the swing. A cowboy's life is for me. Soon all your cares you'll be shedding, and like me you'll be heading to the Cowboy Jubilee. Feel free to clap your hands, stomp your feet, whatever you want to do. It's all legal tonight. You'll hear the cowboy band a-playing, see the couples out there swaying. You know your boots will be the thing when you get in the swing. The cowboy's life is for me. Soon all your cares you'll be shedding, and like me you'll be heading to the Cowboy Jubilee. Cowboy Jubilee.
Yeah, well bad. Yeah. Well bad. Yeah, well bad.
Take me back to my boots and the saddle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me see that general store. Let me ride the range once more. Give me my boots and saddle. Let me ramble along the prairie. Ooh, 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 ooh. Roping steers on old Bar X with my buddies Slim and Tex. Give me my boots and saddle. Got a hankering to be with a banjo on my knee, strumming a pretty western tune. There's a gal in Cherokee and she's waiting there for me, waiting beneath the Texas moon. So take me back to my boots and saddle. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me treat each blazing morn on the ranch where I was born. Give me my boots and saddle. Give me my boots and saddle. Give me my boots and my saddle.
I ride no paint, I lead no den. I'm going to Montana for to throw the hula hand. They feed in the coolies, they water in the draw. Their tails are all matted, their backs are all raw.
Ride around, little dogies, ride around real slow, for the fiery and stuffy are raring to go. One morning
in for pleasure, I spied a young cowboy riding along. His hat was thrown back and his spurs was a jingling, and as he approached, he was singing this song.
Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along with little Dogies. It's your misfortune and none of my own. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along with little Dogies. You know that Wyoming will be your new home.
Early in the springtime we round up the Dogies. We mark 'em, we brand 'em and bob up their tails. Load up the horses, round up the chuck wagon, and throw them little Dogies right out on the trail.
Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along with little Dogies. It's your misfortune and none of my own. Whoopie-tie-I-O, get along with little Dogies. You know that Wyoming will be your new home.
From this valley they say you are going. We shall miss your bright eyes and a sweet smile, for they say you are taking the sunshine that has brightened our pathway a while. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy who loves you so true. For a long time, my darling, I've waited for those sweet words you never would say. But alas, all my fond hopes have vanished, for they say you are going away. Come and sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid me adieu, but remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy who loves you so true. I'm going to take just a moment here and introduce the band real quick. Just by show of hands, who have not seen us play before? Is anyone, any new people here tonight that
No.
for the first time? Oh, we got a handful of you. Good. Well,
None of them have walked out yet.
yeah, they're still here. It's a good sign. And even those that have seen us before, you know. So at least to you folks, the jokes will be new. The rest of you have to bear with us. We are glad to be here tonight. We're kind of surprised that your bishops had made this happen, but we're grateful and we love to do it. And so welcome you all here tonight. We just real brief, let you know we calculated again and we started this 30 years ago at a Cross Point Ward chili cook-off. How many were there? At the very first one, you remember 30 years ago. Leo, were you born yet? Were you still? Good. Well, so anyway, we've been doing this for 30 years, and after an illustrious career, and we even have 3 gold teeth between us. No records.
And a few plastic.
But we all live in the same neighborhood. We love doing this together, and these are a bunch of great guys. I want to introduce Doug Anderson, plays the fill and guitar, sings baritone. I usually leave Gary Walton to the last and tell some jokes about him, but this time I'm not going to do that. Just Gary Walton sings the high notes, and you'll hear some funny stuff on that. Then my right, just tall Rick DeWaters, Kemp Flake, cowboy poet, and sings low notes for us. He's a wonderful bass singer.
And then behind us, other two musicians, Doug Carton, you all know Doug, a talented guitarist, the best I've ever known. And we had one defector this year. Jason Barney moved to Utah. So we thought, hey, let's pretty up the group a little bit instead of Jason. Let's make us all a little better looking. And we came across a talented bassist. Those of you that sing in the Millennial Choir, she plays the bass for many symphonies around. Very talented, and she agreed to. We told her we were going to pay her. Sorry, no budget for this thing.
Hope you got some chili.
Yeah, really talented, Erin Lewis. She happens, she agrees, she happens to be the sister of my daughter-in-law, Teresa. So, but we're grateful to have her. She's really picked this up good. She's a talented bass player. So here we are, we're the Red Mountain Riders.
And before he goes on, I want to say this is Gary Gunnell. He's our announcer and tenor tonight. Gary.
So no Cowboy Shindig would be complete without a little cowboy poetry. He called me a poet, but that's not fair because I don't write them, I just recite them. So I don't know what that makes me, but I'm not a poet. But I come from a cowboy poet who is my dad. His name is Rolf Flake, and he's a cowboy poet of some renown. And I'm going to recite one of his poems, which is called Temporary Reincarnation. Two old cowboys died one day and ended up at the pearly gate. St. Peter got out the record to see what was their fate. "You're early, boys," he says to them. "You were scheduled in all right, but not till a week from Friday if my books are figured right. I haven't got room for you just now, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you back in whatever form you fellers would like me to. This next week will be a free one. We won't count it, not at all. You can be anything you want to be. Just be ready when I call." "Sounds great to me," the first one said, "and I hope you don't think me strange, but I've always admired those eagles as I rode out on the range. I think I'd like to be an eagle soaring up there in the sky. So, St. Peter, if it's all right with you, just give me eagle wings on which to fly." "It's done," said Peter, "you're an eagle." And with that, away he flew. And St. Peter turned to the second one and said, "Now what can I do for you?" "Anything I want," he asked. "And you won't hold it against me?" "That's right," said Peter. "I'll keep my word. Just try me and you'll see." Well, the cowboy stuttered, embarrassed like, "Don't think that I'm a dud, but what I'd like to do for the next few days is to go back down as a stud." So, said and done as quick as that. St. Peter went back to work till he was interrupted by the hotline. A call from old Lucifer, the jerk. "Say, Pete, can you tell me about them two old cowboy fellers? I thought they was coming my way, down here in the cellar. Their banker's looking for 'em, Pete, and he done give me a shout. They died and left their loans unpaid, and I sure need to help him out." "Well," said Pete, "they were here, I think it was yesterday, but we had a little mix-up, so we gave them a week to play. One is now an eagle soaring up there in the sky. He'll be back here in a week or so. Can't you just hear that eagle cry? And the other had a strange request, and since we were over quota, he wanted to spend the week as a stud. So he's on a snow tire in Minnesota."
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a mysterious wind, and the skies are not cloudy all day. The skies are not cloudy all day.
Here's one for you cat lovers. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo
show you a house that's not clean, where the kids fight and shout, the dogs bark to get out. A typical American scene.
Home, home on the range, where the food that my wife cooks tastes strange. Since the cat disappeared, the chili tastes weird, and I wanna meow all day.
Kinda makes you want to go get a second bowl. My wife and I had the opportunity a few years back to go to Nashville, and you know, there's a lot of interesting and peculiar music that comes out of Nashville. For instance, one song that I remember is, "How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away?" And there's another one that's, "If you hear the phone not ringing, you'll know it's me." "Honey, when you leave, walk out backwards so I'll think you're coming in." These are real songs. If I shot you when I wanted to, I'd be out by now.
And how about the favorite? I dropped a bookcase on my darling and pleaded self-defense.
Well, you've got more than one.
Well, gee, the trailer sure seems empty now that you and the 8 kids are gone. And Granny, get off the stove. You're too old to ride the range.
If you won't leave me alone, I'll find someone who will. Now, this is not marriage counseling from Bishop Eddie, but these are real songs. These are real songs. "It's so miserable here without you, it's almost like you're here." "I'm sorry I made you cry, honey, but at least your face is cleaner." Now, here's a good one. "Take me to the corn patch, honey, and I'll kiss you between the ears." And another all-time favorite, "The oil is all in Texas, but the dipsticks are in D.C." And my favorite all-time interesting and peculiar song is, well, I'll just sing it for you. You know, I don't think she's here. I was going to embarrass somebody, so I guess I'll embarrass myself. Well, let's get on with the song. Can you help me out? It's in the key of H. "You ask me if I love you, and if my love is true. If I were a rich man, this is what I'd do. I'd buy you a diamond ring and a new fur coat or two. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. I'd build you a mansion up on that mountaintop. If my nose were running money, but honey, it's not. If my nose were running money, you'd have everything you please. Anytime you wanted cash, all I'd have to do is sneeze. Honey, you'd win the lottery when I have a cold or two. If you want my money, I'd blow it all on you. It's a booger of a problem I've got. I wish my nose were running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a diamond ring and a new fur coat or two. If my nose were running money, I'd blow it all on you.
Gary Walker. He always gets the laughs of our band, you know? We
We have a special guest here tonight that's going to sing this one with us. It's an old cowboy favorite. Longhorn Lucy is here to sing with me and help us. Welcome Lucy to the stage. This is Lucy Gunnell. She got this hat and boots just for this show. She's been dying to sing this song. Okay. All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water, cool water. Old Dan and I, with roots burned dry and souls that cry for water, cool. Clear water. Keep you moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for me and you? Water. Cool, clear water. The nights are cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water, cool water. And with the dawn I'll wake and yawn and carry on to water. Cool, clear water. The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water, cool water. And way up there he'll hear our prayer and show us where there's water. Cool, clear water. Keep a-moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for me and you? Water. Cool, clear water. Cool, clear water. Cool, clear water. Let's hear for Lucy.
Now come along, boys, and listen to my tale. I'll tell you about my troubles on the old Chisholm Trail. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay, yippee yay. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay.
Help us out on the verse, chorus.
Been clutching them cows until some.
Forgot my dang verse.
Tie, yippee yippee yay, yippee yay. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay.
That's no fun.
With my seat in the saddle and my hand on the horn, I'm the best dang cowboy you ever did see.
Come a tie, yippee yippee yay, yippee yay. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay. Let me tell you about a story about a man named Jed, a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay, yippee yay. Come a tie, yippee yippee yay.
And Then one day he was shooting at some food, and up through the ground come a bubbling crew. Come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yi, yippee-yay, come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yay. Oil, that is, black gold. Texas tea.
Well, the next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire, and the young folks say, Jed, move away from there.
Come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yi, yippee-yay, come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yay.
They said California is the place you ought to be, so they moved up the truck and they moved to Beverly.
Sing a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yi, yippee-yay, come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yay.
Hills, that is, swimming pool. Movie stars, got it. Come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yi, yippee-yay, come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yay.
Come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yi, yippee-yay, come a tie-yi, yippee, yippee-yay.
I've been practicing that verse all day and I still blew it. Totally forgot it. Where are we at here? Prairie Sun.
When the prairie sun climbs out of the hay, it spreads a blanket of light to herd the stars from the night. We'll hit the old corral with a cowboy yell. When the prairie sun climbs out of the hay, you can hear them buckskins stomping around. The boss is happy to know the gang is raring to go. We'll hear the hoofbeats pound on the frosty ground. When the prairie sun climbs out of the hay.
It's early morning on the rolling range. The roundup has begun, and we'll be rocking on that rolling range when we see that rising sun.
When the prairie sun climbs out of the hay and spreads a blanket of light to herd the stars from the night, we'll hit the old corral with a cowboy yell. When the prairie sun climbs out of the hay,
we'll saddle them up by the light of the moon and wait for the break of day.
They seem to know that pretty soon we'll be rambling on our way. You can tie your bed in up in a knot. We'll see a lot of the plains before we need them again. Just let the bacon fry, we'll be riding high when the prairie sun climbs out of the hay.
According to the schedule here on the floor, it's my turn to give a poem, and I want to do it before someone stops me.
We've been thrown out of venues for some of the poems Gary's given. So we always like to censor these things.
This was church approved, I promise. It's about family. It's a sacred poem. It's about my great-great-granddaddy. Now, he was a mule skinner by trade. He ran a team of 16 to 20 mules and pulled a big freight wagon. And he hauled sand and gravel up through the mountain pass to build the Roosevelt Dam. He followed the surveyors clear from over past South Mountain all the way out east when they laid out the latitudinal baseline. He put a blade behind his mules and he carved out what we call now as Baseline Road. Now the guy really knew how to handle mules, but he could not handle his liquor. And all his adult life, especially later in life, it was a demon that he just never could beat, never could get a hold of it. So what he would do in order to get sober and dry out, he'd head out east to the mountains, to the desert, and he'd mine for gold. The old prospector of the superstitions worked the old Lost Dutchman mine. For weeks on end, in scorching heat, a life he liked just fine. He'd pick and shovel, work and sweat, and every now and then he'd come across some color, and then he'd head to town again. He'd binge for days, till it was gone, every trip the same. Then as soon as he was sobered up, he'd head back to work his claim. Well, he made it into town one day, was shuffling down the road, and headed straight for the town saloon they called the Horny Toad. He led an old and tired mule, his best friend he called Ghost. Arrived at the old saloon and hitched his friend to the hitching post. He dusted off his hat and pants, the dirt from his tattered coat. Figured he'd stop and have a brew to clear his dried, parched throat. When out through the door stepped a gunslinger, laughing and looking for fun. One hand toting a bottle of hooch, the other held a gun. He looked at the old prospector and laughed. The crowd gathered and did the same. Then through the lips of that reckless drunk, the sarcastic question came, "Hey, old man, can you dance?" The crowd began to roar. The miner eyed the old cowboy and figured he knew what was in store. But he answered with a kind and gentle voice, "No, son, I don't dance. Never really wanted to, never had the chance." Well, the gunman eyed the crowd and then said, "Oh man, here's your chance. You old prospecting fool," he said, "right now you're going to dance." And he started shooting at the old man's feet. The crowd stood there in shock. The miner commenced to dancing around like a maggot on an old hot rock. 12 shots, 6 shots he fired. Emptied his gun. Then the crowd began to roar. The gunman turned back to the old saloon and stepped through the swinging door. The miner, he gathered up his wits and turned back to his old mule and gently cleared the scabbard of his own survival tool. Silence filled the old saloon as he moseyed on inside. The young man's gun was empty and he had no place to hide. The old prospector was cool and calm, not a waver or a shiver in his calloused hand with the finger gently pressed against the trigger of a 12-gauge double-barreled gun. Enough to get that boy's attention and teach the kid some manners and help him learn his lesson. Now, staring down those 12-gauge twins with no place he could run, the young gunslinger knew he'd have to pay for what he's done. "You asked me, son, I believe it was, if I knew how to dance. I'd hoped to ask a question to you, and I believe I've found my chance. Have you ever kissed an old mule's rump? That's my question to you." The kid swallowed hard and it said, "No, sir, but I've always wanted to." Cowboys and ladies, I got to end it right there because we are in mixed company and we are in a church, but I wanted you to know the legacy that my great-granddaddy left at the old Horny Toad Saloon.
And now you know why he acts like he does. Here's a pretty one you like. Stars out in the morning and the still rustle of corn. What a good place to be born. Clouds over the valley till the wind blows them away at the still start of the day. Hey, my Arizona, are you still waiting for me with your gold rain waving free? Hey, my Arizona, are you still waiting for me with your gold rain waving free? Here's one that everyone should recognize. An old cowpoke went riding out one dark and windy day.
Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, plowing through the ragged skies and up the cloudy draw.
Ghost riders in the sky.
Their brands were still on fire and their hooves was made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear ran through him as they thundered through the sky. We saw the riders coming hard and heard their mournful cry. Aye, yippee-yi-oh,
Ghost riders in the sky.
As the riders loped on by him, he heard one call his name.
Hey, Gary.
If you want to save your soul from hell or riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch that devil's herd across these endless skies. Aye,
Yippee-yi-oh, Ghost riders in the sky. Ghost riders in the sky. Ghost riders in the sky.
yeah.
Well, this is, we kind of come
Can I
in.
get one more yeehaw out of this cowboy in the back corner? Let's hear it. Yeehaw, come on.
That's
All of
good.
a sudden he has a little bit of mic. There we go.
We'll take it. We'll take it. This next little medley we do, we usually finish our shows with, and love to do it. And we love our great country. We love this land we live in, and we're grateful for it. And we'd like to, at this time, take a moment, honor those who have served the armed forces, are currently serving, any veterans, to please stand and let us recognize you and thank you for your service. Please stand, yeah. Don't be shy, you guys. I've said it before, and I never want that